Silence. What a weapon it can be. Most people don't realize it, but silence cuts deeper than any insult, any scream, any explosion of emotion. They crave your reaction, beg for it without ever saying the words, thinking that somehow, if they get a rise out of you, they've won. But you're smarter than that. You know that the loudest statement you can make is no statement at all. Cut them off with your silence and let it echo. Let the quiet seep into their minds, where it'll fester like a poison, slowly driving them mad. Because in silence, they'll find something far worse than your anger. They'll find your indifference. They expect rage. They expect tears. They expect the mess of emotions that comes with being discarded. But what do you give them? Nothing. No reaction. No fight. No pleading for closure. You let them hang in the stillness, choking on the very air they once used to suffocate you. In that silence, they begin to understand. They don't matter anymore. And that's the real dagger, isn't it? Not your words, not your actions, but the sheer nothingness that surrounds their existence now. It's brutal, and they'll never be able to shake it. They'll keep waiting for something, a flare-up, a shout, some sign of life from you, but it never comes. They'll wonder if they ever even knew you at all. The silence, the lack of response, it forces them to turn inward, where the darkest thoughts creep in. Was this always going to be their fate? Were they so insignificant that you didn't even bother with the final blow? Yes. And in that realization, their grip on reality begins to unravel. They've lost the game. They didn't even know they were playing. That's the beauty of silence. It isn't an absence. It's a force, a crushing weight they'll never escape. They'll replay their actions, trying to figure out where it all went wrong, as if it matters anymore. Cut them off and leave them in the silence, and let their own mind become the prison they can't escape. That's how you truly sever ties. No explanation, no farewell, just nothing. And it's in that void where their real torment begins. You've taken the power back by giving them nothing to hold on to. Their words, their actions, their desperate attempts to provoke you, they all crumble in the face of your indifference. While they squirm, trying to claw back into your life, you remain untouchable. There's no greater punishment than being rendered irrelevant. They're used to drama, to chaos, to emotions flaring like fireworks. But what you've given them is far worse. Silence. And that silence will haunt them. Imagine it. They lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, waiting for something that never comes. The absence of your reaction speaks louder than anything you could have said. They thought they'd hear your rage, your sorrow, but what do they hear instead? Their own regrets. That's the power of silence. It forces them to confront themselves without you there as a distraction. In cutting them off, you've made them face the void they always were, and it's something they'll never forget. Cutting someone off with silence is the ultimate act of power. It's not a retreat. It's a final calculated strike. Words, they dissipate. Reactions, they feed the cycle. But silence stays. It lingers in the corners of their mind, eating away at them, whispering that they never mattered enough to deserve a response. And now, they live with that. While you walk away without a backward glance, leaving them with nothing but the weight of your absence. There's no better revenge, no cleaner break. The silence is a weapon most will never understand. But you've mastered it. In your quiet detachment, you've severed them from your life in a way that's far more permanent than any fight, any argument. Because while they rage and stew in their own regrets, you're free. They're left trapped in the noise of their own making, while you bask in the calm of your indifference. That's how you end things, with silence that speaks louder than any words ever could.